In the year 1948, there was a single shot that tore through the heart of Bogotá and changed Colombia forever. The man at the center was Jorge Eliécer Gaitán, a charismatic lawyer and leader of the liberal movement whose rise had come to symbolize the hopes of the urban poor. By April 1948, Gaitán was the most popular politician in the country, a tribune for laborers, the unemployed, and a generation fed up with oligarchic rule. He was also a threat to the entrenched elites and a lightning rod for political enemies. On the morning of April 9, Gaitán left his law office on Carrera Séptima to walk toward his car in the Calle de la Chantrea. Witnesses would later recall a bright day and a crowd pressing close. At about 1 p.m., shots rang out. Gaitán crumpled in the street. Chaos followed. The man accused of firing, Juan Roa Sierra, was seized by the mob and lynched within minutes. The official account named Roa as a lone shooter, a troubled young man with known instability. But that tidy ending satisfied few. What followed is the story that historians still debate. Within hours, the city erupted in flames. Shops were looted, government buildings torched, streetcars burned, and the heart of Bogotá descended into what newspapers would call the Bogotazo. For days, the violence spread. Estimates of the dead and injured vary, hundreds by some counts, thousands by others. The psychological shock was devastating. Colombia had entered a new, brutal chapter, La Violencia, a decade of partisan killings and rural insurgency that would scar the nation for generations. Conspiracy theories took root almost immediately. The motives were obvious. Gaitán's promise to upend the status quo alarmed powerful landowners, conservative politicians, and business interests who benefited from the old order. The Pan-American Conference was meeting in Bogotá that week, bringing foreign diplomats in attention. Some wondered if international actors feared contagion from Gaitán's populism. Witness testimony added fuel. Some claimed shots had come from more than one direction. Others said suspicious men had been seen in nearby alleys and buildings. The speed with which Roa was killed, never fully able to speak about his motives, left a hole where answers should have been. Official inquiries reached no conclusive proof of a wider plot. Investigators issued reports, and successive governments offered variations of events, but none produced the smoking gun evidence that would settle the matter. Scholars since have been careful. The record shows contradictions in witness statements, gaps in the police investigation, and a political atmosphere in which shortcuts and cover-ups were possible. Some historians argue Gaitán was assassinated by an isolated attacker motivated by personal instability or manipulation. Others suggest he was the target of a planned conspiracy involving local political rivals or clandestine groups who feared his rise. Whatever the truth of those murky motives, the facts of consequence are clear and terrible. A single assassination detonated a social explosion. Bogotá was a city of riot and ruin for days, and across Colombia, communities were pulled into partisan slaughter. The assassination did not simply remove one leader. It fractured institutions, accelerated polarization, and set in motion a cycle of reprisals that cost countless lives. The unanswered questions about who truly pulled the trigger and why remain part of the crime's legacy, an open wound in Colombian memory. This is a true-life crime story of ambition, fear, and a society pushed to the brink. It is also a cautionary tale about how violence can erupt when political grievances meet weak institutions, and how a single act, documented, chaotic, and disputed, can alter the trajectory of a nation. The Bogotazo is not merely an event in 1948, it is an enduring mystery, a conspiracy that history continues to examine, and a tragedy whose reverberations are still felt in Colombia today.